curious about the different orbs because you mentioned that a lot of the times they're pets. They can be archangels, I think you said. There can be spirits, people who passed on. And you call yourself an orb whisperer. And I'm wondering, so who are showing up the most for you? And what are their messages to us? Like, is it like sort of your channeling? So they have sort of a special teaching or a message. Yeah, I'm curious about that. If you can share, like, if they have like a message for you or humanity.
For me and for the work that I do, I feel like this is for me. This is all about helping people, one, move past grief, to be able to kind of move on and know their loved one's okay. So that's the big thing. And also to know that we go on. This is not it. This is not, and maybe every single thing isn't answered for us. We're such curious beings. We want to know it all. And that's great. That's how we find out, right? Is being curious. But as far as messages, it depends. There's one particular video that I can share that is, it's a video where my mom has just passed away. I think it's about a month after my mom passed away. And I was kind of locked in grief. And I sat down and asked the orbs to come in and heal my grief, help me, because I couldn't move out of this stage of grief that I was in, even with the work that I do. And even it's a human thing to miss people. We know them as this person. And when that person is not there in their physical body, being that person for us, we miss them. We miss that physicalness of them being there. So I set up my camera and I sat down and I just asked them to come in and heal me. And you see the orbs come in and dip down right through me, over me, around me. They just start coming in one at a time, and they kind of dip down through my mind and through my body. And what was happening to me in that moment was I could feel their love, but also I could feel that feeling building in me where you want to just burst into tears. And I just started to sob. And what they were helping me do was release the grief. They were helping me to let it out. I needed to cry. I needed for it to come out. And so in that interaction, because what I would say is that the message or what they're there for changes with each interaction. In that instance, it was to help me heal. It was to help me move past this grief. And I was asking for the help, and they were there to help. Sometimes it's just to show that they're there. That's what their family wants to know. In the orb mediumship that I do, I ask yes and no questions. They're there to answer the questions for people. And most of the time you'd ask who is it most of the time? For me, most of the time it's guides, angels, archangels, coming in to help me with readings. I have a big team around me that helps me with readings. And they also come in as, when I do the orb mediumship, they come in as support for the person that I'm about to be speaking with, the spirit I'm about to be speaking with. They come in as support because this takes energy to have this interaction. And so when they come in and they're supporting the spirit that they're holding the energy so that we can have this conversation, we can have this interaction. Usually the interaction lasts seconds, and with the orb mediumship, it lasts minutes. And so there's a lot of support there. And there's a particular video that I can share that I usually share before I begin my session with the person, so they can see with their own eyes how much support there is and how much help there is in this interaction happening. I'm not doing it by myself. There's a lots and lots of support and help to make this interaction possible. And what you see is, as I'm sitting I plop down and sit on the bed, and I'm kind of talking, and the orbs start to flow in, and they're all kind of flowing towards me. And they come in and flow towards me. And as soon as I flip the camera over to film, or I'm going to be filming the spirit, they all turn around and start going the other direction to be in support of that spirit. And it's astounding to see when you see it with your own eyes. It's like, oh my gosh, what is going on? But that is what is happening. They're coming in, they're entering in to support me and what I'm doing, and help me to build my energy and keep my focus. And then they're there to help and support the spirit that's come in to have this interaction.
Now, is this a skill that you have and a gift that you are born with, to see this and communicate with orbs, or can we all communicate with them? And if so, how?
Okay, so yes, you can learn to do this, and I do believe, just like we all have abilities to different degrees. Like you said, I'm really intrigued and interested in this, and like you said, I think it's part of my path. That's part of what I'm here kind of to do, facilitate or help. But I did a class it's on my website, and it's just a little class that kind of gives you all kinds of tips and help and ways to communicate through cards and through the dowsing rods. There's all kinds of different ways to help the communication, so you do get the bigger messages or things they want to get across. But I would say the two most important things, because you can use any camera, any iPhone to do this. The main thing, though, and I would say the two pieces of advice I would give, or the two pieces that are most important when you want to do this and start to have these interactions, is to, one, be clear on your intention. Kind of, why are you doing this? Are you just curious? And it's okay. It's just getting clear on your intention of what you're wanting and why you're doing this. And also to make sure you're not afraid, because I'm telling you that when my husband, because he was kind of like, oh, orbs. He's not a cynic, but he's very, very skeptical. Okay. And he picked up the camera, and I said, look at all these orbs. And he's like, are you sure that's not just us? And I said, well, I talk to him and tell him to come towards you. And he did. And they started coming towards him. And he's like, oh my gosh. So it can be startling when you have these interactions and you realize, oh, this is really spirit energy, and I'm having this experience. And some people, they may feel they want it, or they do want it, but there is that little bit of fear. And so make sure that you've cleared that, and that you're not afraid, because they don't want you to be afraid, because when you're afraid, it stops the progress. It stops you from reaching out. Fear can be a real inhibitor. It can really kind of make you back down or back away, and they don't want that. They want you to stay engaged and keep reaching out.
And isn't that also because fear has a low vibration, and then will not matching their vibration, perhaps?
Absolutely. Fear. I mean, we know that fear is our big big thing to overcome here in everything, so and they're so the opposite of that. Like you said, it's completely different vibrations that do not go together. So they don't want to, it's the last thing they want to do is instill fear or help us or make us have more fear about something that already we're kind of like, so make sure that because I'm telling you, they're loving. I've never, ever had a bad interaction or reaction or something that was scary or evil or bad or nothing like that. You can feel the love and the joy as soon as they come into the room. You can feel it. Because just how it makes you feel, where you get that excitement and that, oh my gosh, and it's just so fun. And it really is a confirmation that not only do we go on, but we're very much ourselves. They have personality. They reflect the personality of the person when they come in. So it's very afterlife affirming. It really, really is.
To watch the full video, click the link below, and I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel.